Hey, 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 it's Dr. Tart. I want to tell y'all about something amazing coming up for couples that is going to be a blessing for your marriage. So welcome in. This is an edition of Heart to Heart with Dr. Tart. A Heart to Heart with Dr. Tart. I'm so excited about it. We get a chance to just go heart to heart to talk about all things when it comes to relationships and parenting and mental health. And today we're going to focus on relationships. All right. So if you're coming out of the pandemic or you just been married longer than a year, even 6 months, you realize that your marriage needs work. Your marriage needs to feel good. You don't need to just be married. You need to actually feel married. You get what I'm saying? You need to feel married. So today, I'm going to talk to you about what to do when your connection fades. So I was working with a couple and I asked them about dating and I asked them about just things they do together, and they looked at one another like, man, we don't even remember the last time that we've done something together. And when I got them separate and talked to them separately, both expressed the fact that, you know what, we don't really feel one another anymore. We feel obligated to one another. We want to honor our vows. We don't want to break up our family. Neither one of us wants divorce. But what we're battling against are feelings. We need feelings we want to feel married again. What can we do, right? Because you can easily get out of touch with your partner, especially in this world. It does not take long. All right. The average couple spends, I want to say, like 15 minutes a day. And a lot of that time, sometimes it's spent on our phones. Sometimes it's spent watching TV. We can't even connect. So if you're a married couple or you're an engaged couple and you want to simply feel connected, if you're watching this and you're dating or you're single and you want to feel connected to your partner, I'm going to give you some things to do to actually feel connected to your partner so that you're just not roommates, so that you're just not going through the motions. It's very common. I think 1 in 6 couples is what is described as a sexless marriage, meaning that they're not having intimacy. They're not having physical fondness. They don't hug, they don't kiss, they don't hold hands. I know some of y'all are watching this in pain. All right, just not there anymore. But you're paying the bills, you're taking the kids to school, you're going to church, you're sitting there, but there's no warmth or connection. We're gonna talk about how to fix that. All right. I know y'all saying, well, let's do it then. Stop talking about it and let's be about it. All right, let's do it. I want you to actually see that. So ways to increase warmth, right? So in psychology, it's called increasing warmth. And the reason I'm telling you this is that there is a marriage conference coming up called A Weekend for Love, right? A Weekend for Love. Let me show that to you really quickly. All right. So it's called A Weekend for Love, and it is actually coming up September 30th to October 2nd at the Henderson Beach Resort and Spa. All right. Go to aweekendforlove.com to check that out. But these are the type of things that we're going to teach couples in what we call love labs as to how to reconnect. All right. So just want to let y'all know that resource up front. All right. But let's get right into it. Okay. So ways to increase warmth. And we also have a Facebook community inside of A Weekend for Love. If you Google Facebook, you go to Facebook and then you search A Weekend for Love group, it's going to be there. Or you can just simply look at the link. There's a connection. There's a link that's being posted that you can just connect with to be part of the Weekend for Love private group where we do these type of trainings. I'm just giving y'all a taste, okay? So ways to increase warmth. All right, initiate a hug, snuggle, or a gentle touch. Be a leader. It says in the Bible, Galatians 6:5, each one should carry their load. And especially, I'm talking to husbands. Sometimes, if we're going to be leaders, we actually have to initiate intimacy. We have to initiate warmth. So initiate a hug, snuggle, or a gentle touch. Come up behind your partner. Don't surprise them. Don't go so far where they're like, "What are you doing?" But you know what I'm talking about. You know your spouse. You know your husband. You know your wife. But just say, "Look, we don't have to talk. We don't have to agree. I just want to give you a massage. I just want you to. I just want to feel something, right? I can't tell you how many spouses I see who just want to feel loved and cared about. All right. Second thing, agree on something your spouse said with enthusiasm. Right. So one of the things that we want to be as husband and wives or in a relationship, we want to be interesting. right? And so when your spouse says, "Hey, babe, I saw this new television show on TV." All right, my wife is telling me about the second season to Bridgerton's. I didn't even know it was out. I found out the black guy's not on there, but anyway, still gonna watch it, right? And I said, "Really? What happened to the black guy?" And she was telling me he might be cast as James Bond, and how the original show, how it was written, he was never written into the rest of the book or the season. So I responded with enthusiasm. I was all into her world. So that shows warmth. I'm coming closer to her to make her feel interesting. Do you know how much attention we really need when it comes to relationships? We need a lot more than we're willing to admit. Three, do something you usually don't do in the marriage. That's right, y'all. Mix it up. Mix it up, family. Do something different, right? So one of the things you can do is say, "Babe, don't even worry about dinner tonight. We're gonna go someplace. I'm not gonna tell you where to go. Just get dressed." All right. Say it's for your husband, because we always talking about planning dates for wives. For your husband, your husband likes sports. You can say, "Hey, babe, you know what? Put your jersey on. We're gonna go do something different." You might actually go to the game, or you might go to a sports bar. Now that it's a little bit safer to go out. Do something different to mix it up. If you want the marriage to feel different, do something different to mix it up. All right. Number four, pitch in and do your part of the household chores. I really wish I could skip that one, because I hope my wife doesn't watch it. But in reality, being married, there are times in which you have to make sure that your husband is not exhausted. This goes both ways. I'm gonna keep it balanced. And at a Weekend for Love, we keep it balanced. We make sure that we nurture the husbands and we nurture the wives. So that means, as a husband, maybe all the bills don't fall on you. This is 2022. All right. It doesn't have to be old school traditional roles. It can be absolutely, hey, let's have a season where you're primary and I'm secondary, so I can relax and work on some of my passion projects. Or maybe it's like, you come home and you're like, "Man, my wife is doing all of the chores and she works just as hard as I do. Maybe even harder in this season. Let me go ahead and knock out these clothes." All right. Or get a housekeeper. I'm be honest, right? You don't have to do it. If you have the means, just make sure that it's being done. Or let me order meals. Like when my wife was pregnant, I did a meal plan where they delivered meals to the house so that her brother could eat. And she could eat as well while pregnant, and it worked out, right? Maybe you take up cooking. So do something new. Pitch in and do the chores, so that you're not just coming home and you don't have any time for the relationship, right? That's no fun. You want to be in a relationship where chores don't take up a large part of the day. It's just something you do so that you can sit down, watch TV, take a walk, make love to your husband or your wife, go do something fun, go to a restaurant, go bar hopping, read the Bible together. I know that's funny, bar hopping and bar, but y'all get what I'm saying. This is real world. All right. And then number five, express admiration verbally. This is a big one. And this is a big one. Proverbs 16:24, something like sweet words are like a honeycomb, sweet to the soul, healing to the bones, and sweet to the soul. Gracious words, all right, are like a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. We need to hear that you like us. We need to hear that you feel us. We need to, like, baby, let three appreciations a day is really what you want to do, because we need them. And so it might look something like, babe, I'm gonna be real time, baby. I appreciate when I was frustrated in a meeting, that we were able to debrief and talk about how much of a load I'm carrying. And instead of getting upset, you said, "What can I take off your plate?" I appreciate that, baby. I appreciate that when I told you the plans for Mother's Day, you actually gave me feedback so that there'd be no surprises this year. I appreciate that. And I appreciate when I was watching the Memphis Grizzlies Golden State game, that I did not have to be on parenting duty, because Memphis is my favorite team in the playoffs, and my brothers is Golden State. And we sit there and text and talk smack the whole game as a form of relaxation. I appreciate that. Right? We need to hear that. And I need to hear the things that my wife appreciates in me as well. We need to hear that. All right. Let me give you some more. All right. Number six, express admiration verbally. We already talked about that. All right. Number six, for real. All right. Express thanks for something your spouse did. This is called Thanksgiving. right? This is called Thanksgiving. And the way I want you to do this, because at Weekend for Love, we're going to give you high level things that you can do, practical interventions to improve the quality of your marriage. That's why I'm telling you all about a Weekend for Love. And I want y'all to register, or at least go check it out. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your church about it, to get as many couples involved in this, because you're really, really, really going to enjoy it. All right. So Thanksgiving is like, I want you to tell a story and say, hey, babe, you know what? I really appreciate it when you drove all the way down to Destin where we're having a conference, because I said I was cool with going to the conference, but I was exhausted from work. And you driving alone, even though I know that was boring, yet listen to your music or your podcast and letting me sleep, even though it wasn't the best company. I really appreciate that. And that made me feel cared for and loved and respected as your wife. I know it wasn't fun, but thank you for taking care of me, knowing that I was exhausted so I could have energy for you and for our marriage when we got there. So thank you for doing all of the driving. All right. So do you see how when you give Thanksgiving and you add a story to it, how it really is impactful? See, I want y'all to get things that actually improve the warmth, the connection, like a fire. We're making your fire, your connection warmer and warmer so that you can actually feel something in your relationship. Smile and be playful. This picture that you're looking at right here is actually a real couple from a Weekend for Love at our nightcap experience, where I'm going to tell you about in a minute, where we actually make sure that you spice up the intimacy in your marriage, right? So we bring in experts from all over the country to help you figure out, how do I keep this thing spicy? How do I get physical intimacy inside of our marriage? How do we initiate conversation about doing new things so that we always have desire? And a weird word, I know you're gonna be surprised, that I use when it comes to Christian marriage or marriage in general, is eroticism. Right? We need to anticipate. We need desire. We need an erotic experience, meaning a connection that God intended intimacy to be within the bounds of marriage. So let's talk about how to ramp it up. Let's do something new that we've never done. All right. So smile and be playful. Playfulness and fun and doing new things and getting out your comfort zone is actually good for the marriage. If you want a new marriage, do something new. All right. Laugh together. That's self-explanatory. Go to a comedy club, right? Go do something fun. Watch a funny movie. Talk about things that are important. And then the last one is cherish your spouse. Cherish your spouse, right? And so that means that you do something special for them and him or her. You know your man, you know what he likes. He might like a massage, or you know your wife. You know she likes a fine dinner in a place she's never been before, especially coming out of the pandemic. Or if she's not comfortable, maybe bringing a chef in. Not to brag on myself, but I was able to do that for Valentine's Day this year, coming straight off of having a child. We weren't ready to go out to the restaurants yet, but bringing a chef in. And I know that y'all can outdo that idea, because I get a lot of these ideas from you all. Right. So if you do those things and you put those things in action, then you can have a warmer marriage. You can actually feel connected because you're doing things to connect. All right. And so these are the type of trainings we're going to be doing inside of our Facebook community. So make sure that you click the link to get into that community. We're going to be giving you skills all the way on up to the conference, right? So we want you to register, but even if you're not sure about registering, go ahead and join the community, because we're going to be giving you all types of experiences, because I absolutely am on fire for marriages. All right. And so what you see right here, these are the founders for Weekend for Love. That's myself and my beautiful wife, Mecca Tart. And then you see our co-founders, Dwayne and Michelle Gainey. And all four of us have an absolute driving passion to keep marriages together, but not only to keep marriages together, but to make sure that marriages thrive. We say that a Weekend for Love is a place where dope marriages come to thrive. So this is not just for you being in repair. This is for you. I'm gonna be honest where Mecca and I are, if you're trying to do couples goals, right? And we're trying, right? Let's get together on creating some things together as the Tarts to create legacy. All right. The Gainies are doing the same thing. Let's create legacy, not only for ourselves, but also for our kids. And Weekend for Love is part of that legacy. So let me tell you a little bit about what to expect. All right. So when you come, we're going to do a welcome dance party because, sometimes y'all come not in a good space. Immediately, we're going to have you have fun. Last year, we did a silent disco that was all the rave. People stayed to like midnight having a good time. So as soon as they came in, we feed you great food, right? Because this is a luxury marriage retreat slash vacation. So you're gonna be beachside at the Henderson Beach Resort, which is a Salamander property, which is Black owned, right? And so you're gonna come right into a welcome dance party, right? You can also get your massages, you can also go to the beach, you can also enjoy whatever you want to do, right? There's so many different things, bike rides, so many wonderful amenities there. All right. And then we have a wives only and husband only session, right? Last year, the men, we had this dope bowling competition, all right, and then the wives did a yoga experience, right? This year, we're going to have something special. We're going to announce that later. For the husbands, it's going to be a lot of fun. We get to play and do things that men do, and the women are going to do things that women do, wives do. I know y'all going to share y'all cooking recipes. All right, I know I get in trouble for that, but it's just going to be time for wives to be able to connect and talk about how do you do marriage, but also how you do business. All right, how do you manage children? How do you deal with infertility? How do you deal with differences in libido? It's just things that wives talk about, and the men we're gonna get together and play. We're gonna talk about health. We're going to talk about keeping our marriages together. We're going to talk about money. I'm just going to be honest because I know what men want to talk about. All right. And that's in our wives only and husband only sessions. And then we come back for the nightcap. All right. The nightcap is a lot of fun. It's what you saw before, where we put you through a nightcap experience where we have great delicacies and desserts, fine wine, champagne, and bring in the intimacy experts and give you an experience that allow you to be able to connect with your spouse because there's no kids there. You've gotten away. And we absolutely want you to be able to touch one another. Let's just leave it like that. Husbands, that's a reason to sign up in itself. And then we have a love lab experience, right? So the love lab experience is where what we're doing right now. You get real skills so that your marriage feels good. So if your marriage is great, we're going to take it to excellent. If your marriage is excellent, we're going to make it legendary, right? If you're in a bad place, we're going to make sure that you leave feeling good because we're going to give you a love lab experience, not only while you're there, but tools to take on for the rest of the year to be able to feel connected as a unit. And so I teach part of these classes, but we also bring in other experts from around the country, other psychologists, other therapists. And here's the really cool thing. We also have some of our guests, because I know some of y'all are like, I think I can testify. We handpick certain participants, certain couples to come in and share how they're able to build and grow, how they're able to open up a franchise together. All right, how they are able to work through past disconnection, how they were able to work through a season of infertility, how they were able to work through being disconnected, and to just open up and share so that you can see real couples who have excelled and real couples who have persevered and showed grit and resiliency through different seasons. And some of these couples will be new and some of them will be very seasoned so that we can learn from one another. So that's always a lot of fun. Then we have the signature event, which is the vow renewal, y'all. The vow renewal is where you can feel married again. Think about what you felt like. A lot of men, as macho as we are, we cry, we have a tear when we see our wife come down the aisle. And brides, how that made you feel. So we create a new experience for you to feel what it feels like to be married again and renew your vows and to be able to exchange your vows before God to recommit to your marriage. And y'all know that Michelle Gainey is the premier event planner in the country. She does all of the top weddings for all of the celebrities, right? So she's going to make sure that it looks and feels to your liking when it comes to a vow renewal ceremony, right? And we bring in some of the best pastors from around the world. Last year we had Pastor Wayne Chaney from Preachers of LA, Maisha Chaney come in and do an absolutely stunning vow renewal ceremony. And then we end it with a reception, right? You get married, you have to have a reception. So we have a live jazz band, brunch, reception, to where you can celebrate and seal your marriage before you head back to your destinations. And last year we had couples from all over the world. All right, really, really flying in. We were very surprised and humbled at what God was doing in our lives. So we want you to join us. A Weekend for Love, September 30th to October 2nd. I'm going to be honest with you. We are already 65 to 70% sold out because a lot of our participants decided to renew. We renew each year. This is our third year doing it, and it has become a tradition for a lot of our couples. And as you see, we're doing a lot of marketing, right? We're doing a lot of marketing because we want to bless, and there are a lot of church families and a lot of people that bring friends with them. Last year, we had a couple, the Miles, that brought, I think, 6 or 7 couples with them from Texas so that they were able to have fun together and experience a good time with other strong couples and couples they wanted to pour into. So we can't wait to see you. We're excited about it. All right. My name is Dr. Alden Tart, 1/4 of the legendary team as far as founders. And then we also have brought in dynamic marketing, dynamic graphic design. It's dynamic videographers, dynamics. You're also going to get some phenomenal photos when you're coming down there. So we're excited about bringing in the best of the best and making sure that your marriage excels. All right. So I want y'all to check this out. I'm excited about it. aweekendforlove.com. And join the Facebook community if you want your marriage, your relationship to go to the next level. I'm Dr. Tart. Take care and God bless.